Hey everybody, John from No Joke NHL here on Friday, April 27th. This is the first day of the second round of the playoffs, and today I'm going to do a combination report on the Nashville-Phoenix series, as well as look at tonight's game, which is Nashville-Phoenix, the only game on the card tonight. We have two games on schedule tomorrow, one of the Eastern Conference schedules, as well as the other Western Conference gets off, and then Sunday is the Flyers getting started as well. And I believe another game, I think Nashville-Phoenix playing on Sunday as well. So looking at tonight, we have Nashville game one minus 115 over the Phoenix Coyotes minus 105. The over-under total is set at 5 plus 115 to the over, under 5 minus 135. For the series, we have Nashville Predators minus 160, comeback on the Coyotes plus 140. Of course, if you're using a reduced juice shop or other outs, you may have different prices, better prices. Some people contact me about those. And yeah, you should certainly shop for the best price that you can get. You should try to have several different outs if you can. Like I said, I use 5 dimes predominantly. They do have a reduced line, which is somewhat comparable to Pinnacle. And then they also offer a lot more prop bets that Pinnacle doesn't. So, you really, like I said, if you're interested in making hockey as one of your major betting activities, then these are the books that you really want to look at. Some of the other ones offer limited action, and like I said, the more action you can get and the more lines you can get, I think the better off you're going to do, because you can accept the better price and shop around. Of course, in Vegas, you do that on foot or driving or whatever to get to the different books. But when you're playing online, you should do the same thing. You should not just rely on one particular sports book. So looking at this series, before these series started, I wasn't really sure what to expect from the Phoenix Coyotes. I knew they would have a defensive style, and they were definitely able to turn back the offensive pressure and heat from the Chicago Blackhawks, who threw everything but the kitchen sink at Mike Smith and were unable to really crack the code, losing in 6, 4-2 to the Phoenix Coyotes. Nashville Predators faced the Detroit Red Wings, and before that series started, I predicted that the Nashville Predators would show a maturity in the playoffs that we had not seen, we'd watched them grow up slightly, the past couple seasons, and I'm predicting them to move forward here in this series. Minus 160, a very square price. I'm not really sure where this is going to land in exact games. I'm pretty convinced it's not going to be a sweep. I think Mike Smith is going to be able to deal with them here. Both these teams in their last 10 games are red hot, 8-2 in their last 10, both of them. So no real edge there. Of course, Nashville's had the entire week off, which, depending on how you look at it, may or may not hurt them. They may be rusty, slightly slow from game speed. So again, that may be a factor moving forward. But overall, I really see the Predators dominating this series, as it can be dominated. I'm not saying they're going to win 5-1 every night, but I see them with way more weapons than Phoenix can handle. Phoenix got a little break. Like I said, this wasn't the Cup champion Blackhawks that they faced. The Blackhawks, of course, with a subpar goaltender going into this, Corey Crawford, definitely average, let in 2 lame overtime goals, in my opinion, to allow Phoenix to get through, and of course forced overtime with them, 5 straight games to start that series. So I just don't see the killer instinct here on the Coyotes, or enough of a killer instinct on the Coyotes to take care of the Predators here. They were able to get their first series win, and that's another thing too. When a franchise gets its first series win, especially in this case ever, Nashville was in the same boat last year. They win their first series in the first round, and then they go bow out in the next round. So not really sure that Phoenix is going to be able to digest and move forward without sitting and patting themselves on the back a little too much from that series win with Chicago. So I look for Nashville to take care of them relatively handily. The prices on the exact game props here, I'm not really interested in laying 160 on the Predators. So usually what I try to do is look at exact game props. At this point, Predators in 5 makes some sense to me. I see Phoenix at least getting 1. The sweep by Predators, plus 940. The 5-1 or 5-game Predator line plus 450. Predators in 6 would have them winning it back in Nashville plus 350. So the only thing that really has somewhat of value would be Predators in 5, but at plus 450, that's not really a great price. So, like I said, I really don't see the Coyotes getting this. Of course, the returns on them, if you're a believer, to sweep 18-1, Coyotes in 5, wrapping it up on home ice, plus 720, taking Game 6 in Nashville, plus 570, and then if the series goes 7, it'd be plus 450 for the Coyotes to take this, but like I said, I don't see them doing that. One great way that might work out in our favor is if the Coyotes are able to steal Game 1, in which case they would reline the series, and with this being minus 160, plus 140, Phoenix win with home ice in Game 1 would allow us to get plus money on the Predators. So that may be a plan of attack as well. And I kind of look maybe Phoenix being able to give them a game here in Game 1, but again, I'm not entirely sure. So what I'm probably going to do, I'm probably going to lay off wagering for tonight's Game 1. I don't really see anything in the total, although one little trend that I was looking at is the Predators, when off for 3 or more nights, they've been off for an entire week, they tend to score more goals when they come back, as well as allow more goals in those games. They have almost a 6-goal average for the two teams combined in those games in which Nashville participated after having 3 or more days off. So that may be one thing if you're looking at this total. Of course, they're gearing it towards the under. I can certainly see why. We have one of the Vezina Trophy finalists in this series, as well as another respected goaltender, Mike Smith. So, of course, goals to be at a premium here. But, like I said, that little trend could be the kind of information, whereas everybody's going to be jumping on, yeah, Smith and Rene, well, you're definitely going to play the under. Like I said, personally, I think, if you're going to lay under 5, I couldn't see myself laying minus 135 for the comfort of the 5. If you really believe it's going to be under, take the 4.5 and get that, plus juice. I mean, that's what you're really playing for. And actually, they're coming through. The trend on unders is now almost 80% for the series. Of course, that also includes the couple games in the Philly series where they jumped all the way up to the 7. So you have to look at that with a grain of salt as well. So anyway, I like the Preds here. I think I'm going to hold out as far as playing the series prices. Not seeing really great returns, although I really do like the Predators here. I kind of like the Predators out west, especially if they get by here. I'm going to be backing them in the Blue series, probably at underdogs, because I think they have a much better record head-to-head with the other 3 Western teams. And like I said, with Rene doing a stand-up job, as well as their offensive weapons and their maturity, I think they should be able to handle the upstart Phoenix Coyotes this year, coming off their first series win ever in Phoenix. So that does the report for today. Like I said, I'll be back a little bit later with some reports on the Eastern Conference matchups, as well as the other Western Conference matchup. Those games, like I said, going off tomorrow, and we'll look at that in a little while. So until then, peace, have a good time, and let's enjoy the hockey.